Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Glad to have you here. Today we have an Empire versus Beastmen and Greenskins matchup. So you can see my ally here has a main line of Flagellants with the Sunmaker and Volkmar the Grim. He's also got a Bright Wizard here, synergizes well with this fire combo here. He has one Imperial Foot, one Sigmarite Disciple, some Pikemen here in the back, 2 units of Huntsmen, a Pikeman over here, and then some Knights of the Blazing Sun, again synergizing with that fire. Here you can see the first volley is going to be coming off on these Marauders, which is a good choice. We'll see how it does. Oh man, stoked. I'll never get tired of seeing chaos blown away by the Empire. So there you can see getting some nice shots in. The second volley already incoming. Over here you can see I do have Balthazar Gelt running around with an Amber Wizard bodyguard. I've got a main line here of Imperial Foot, which is what I like to bring when I bring Balthazar Gelt, just because you go cheaper on your Lord, so you can go a little bit more expensive on your infantry. So I've got 3 of these guys as a main line. I have 2 unbreakable units to each side. I've got some free company militia, some handgunners, and some more free company militia. I do have the Zendler's Reichsguard here. I've got some pikemen. And then some more pikemen over there. So, oh, and then I actually have a second unit of Reichsguard. Usually I like to bring Knights Panther, but I figured they wouldn't really be bringing very much armored infantry, so these guys would be a little bit better. We go over here. You can see a huge main line of Marauders. He's got some Berserkers out on this flank, 2 units of Javies, Skin Wolves, 2 units of monstrous Ice Trolls. He's got some Miststalkers, the Great Maw Herd, which I think is a great unit. He does have a Werekin and Wolfric on foot. So lots of stuff to tie me down, lots of stuff for my gunpowder units to shoot at, but almost too much for me to isolate. Over here the Greenskin player has some Black Orcs, some Orc Boys, Goblins, Orc Boys, weird front line. He's got a pretty strong Cav contingent with Broken Tusk Mob and Orc Boar Biggins. He's got some Savage Orc Biggins in the back line. He's got some Savage Orcs, Orc Shaman, Orc Warboss, Ragnarok Queen. And then in the forest here, he looks like he's got a bunch of Squigs, even more Cav. Squig Herd, Squig Hoppers. He's got some Nasty Skulkers and some Forest Goblins. So yeah, we'll just get started. You can see he is kind of shooting at the Hordes over here. And I'm turning my hammer to go over here and just start shooting at these Broken Tusk Mob. Thinking back, I probably should have tried to handle my own stuff first. Maybe shot at some of those Skin Wolves or the Ice Trolls. But I figured this Cav was a good target. So I'm going to be trying to shoot at them. I don't know if I'm going to be getting any shots off anytime soon. Oh, here we can see the first one coming in. They're taking out like 3 Boar Boy Biggins. That's pretty good. And then those 2, look, they did get stopped by that one tree. Very sad. So I got 1 hit off. And you can see nice targeting there on that Hellstorm rocket battery, targeting the Brutes of the Hound. Very low armor, very valuable unit. So taking him out will definitely limit some of the just damage potential of the Norskins. Ooh. Thinking I'm getting some more shots off. But he's wise to kind of stay near the forest. And my hammer, which is, I feel like I'm just getting very unlucky with it right here, because usually it does a little bit extra damage. Oh, there it did a good amount. Fireball coming in. It does get stopped by that hill, which is sad. And I believe I'll switch to this target here, if time permits. You can see the Sunmaker very vulnerable right now. He's going to lose a number of volleys. But that's okay. Then over here you can see the Huntsmen are opening fire. Definitely want to get those guys started on the Ragnarok Queen. They won't do the best, but they will kind of eventually kill it with their anti-large bonus. Then over here you can see these Orc Boar Boy Biggins did get in here and stop those final volleys. You can see my handgunners are opening fire. I'll be switching their targeting soon. Then you can see, nice job. I like this Greenskin kind of coming at odds at the side and forcing my ally to kind of commit some resources over to my side. And then over here you can see the main line is going to engage. Looks like he's casting a Golden Hounds on these Marauder champions over here, because I didn't really have anything to deal with them. And you can see these, they're just going to start crashing through these flagellants. Nice banishment on those savage orcs. Oh man, there's so much going on. So here, finally engaged, kind of deciding where I want these guys. My Sigmar sons have gotten into this fight with the Skin Wolves. The Skin Wolves will kind of tear through them eventually, but I do have some free company here who are going to try and support. And I've got some spears headed up here to deal with these Maw Herd. And I'm actually going to run my Rexguard through and hit these Berserkers, I think, to try and protect my pikemen. So you can see, dropping Glittering Robe on my Imperial Foot, so they have that plus 25%, plus 30% physical resistance. It's going to make them a lot tankier. Over here you can see, he's gotten his Spider Hatchlings and his Black Orcs into this Huntsman blob, so really good job protecting. And you can see these guys are just really not up to par with that buffed Savage Orc mainline. And you can see I'm trying to shoot at, I think, something big over here, but my Hammer of Witches is not doing very well. I've got some swordsmen back here that I think I forgot to mention, and you can see the Tattersouls here are losing to Marauders, I think, or slightly winning. Definitely not the most cost-effective trade, and you can see my free company militia are obstructed. I didn't do a good job of clicking, making sure they were targeting the right units. My handgunners were targeting the right units, though. Over here, yeah, you can see I intercepted their Brutes of the Berserkers with my Zentler's Reichsguard, and I just started essentially blobbing these guys down with shitty pikemen. So they're going to do very well in that fight, and you can see these armored swordsmen, these Sigmar sons, who do have 116 armor, are getting kind of torn apart by these Skin Wolves. My free company militia is the only thing really doing damage to those guys right now. But you can see my Imperial Foot over here not doing the best. I did charge my Reichsguard kind of through the line to try and finish these guys off, but he brought the Ice Trolls in. So I really needed to pull them out before that happened, because now they're frostbitten and I can't really pull them out. But you can see my ally over here is just getting swamped. Balthazar Gelt's still trying to find a home. You can see the nice boat there, slaughtering some stuff. He did exploit a gap in my line. I'm going to try and fill it with Ice Trolls, but they're just going to push through my unit and get to my free company. So this is not looking good for me at the moment. So I'm going to bring Balthy and the Amber Wizard in here to try and shut down these guys. And then I'm hoping to kind of get my Zentler's Reichsguard around eventually to kind of do what they need to do. You can see now my Hammer of Witches is switching. I think I'm going to be shooting at the Trolls. Finally pulling out my Reichsguard. Too late. And they took a decent amount of damage. And I think I'm going to bring them in here. See Golden Hounds coming down on the Spearmen. I figured I didn't want Balthazar to die. So, and the nice use of Hunter of Champions, that'll really help them kill Balthazar Gelt, even though the Wolfric is not there, personally. So here you can see I finally broke through those Berserkers. Really cost-effective trade there. But he did get some Hounds into my free company, and so my Reichsguard were thankfully free. And then I'm going to come here and get a nice rear charge to free up Balthazar Gelt. You can see with my handgunners, I turned them around, and those Norscan Ice Trolls were taken out by some concentrated handgunner fire and some Hammer of Witches fire. But you can see this side is not going well for my ally. You can see Volkmar is getting isolated by many large targets, and the Ragnar Queen is probably going to gang up there soon. So yeah, but you can see my Imperial Foot. One of them is getting crushed by these Familiar Warriors, but this one is doing pretty well, especially with those Glittering Robes, and this one in the middle won just against those Marauders. It did take them a very long time to cut through them though, which is kind of the downside of halberd units. So over here, it looks like my Reichsguard, I'm helping to deal with these Hounds, but the Maw Herd, that is not a fight they want to be in, so I need to get out of there. I want to just leave them on my pikemen, let my pikemen do the work. And then you can see over here, my Zentler's Reichsguard do charge into the back of these Ice Trolls. And these Zentler's Reichsguard are anti-large in Steel Faith, so I get a nice surround here and just crush their leadership, which was the goal. So here now my handgunners, I've managed to protect them. I'm still dropping those Glittering Robes for buffs. I'm opening fire. I think I'm going to switch to this guy. You can see another boat coming down, hitting most of his own troops actually, which I am all for. You can see my Amber Wizard has finished up. My Tattersouls barely won that fight, so really not being cost effective there. But they did hold down that flank without me having to worry about it, which was nice. You can see just that Ragnarok Queen still very healthy. He does have this unit of Huntsmen back here, which is good. You can see I have dealt with that Maw Herd, but my Reichsguard took a ton of damage. You see Battlestar Gale still just holding down these javelins, so I'm going to go in for another charge. Oh, there you can see my Hammer of Witches dealing with those guys. And so I'm just going to lance these guys to try and free up Battlestar Gale, finish them off for good. Definitely MVPs of this battle are my Zentler's Reichsguard. Amber Wizard doing okay, but really not the ideal fight for him. Then you can see over here I am Plague of Rust being dropped on these Premier Warriors, and I'm going to drop into the back of them and just try and break this blob. Really just trying to run around and use my anvil as much as humanly possible. So there, you can see, especially with that Plague of Rust, my Reichsguard don't really have armor-piercing damage. It's really a nice synergy, and we did finish off those Premier Warriors, and you can see the Skinwolf working. But the problem with this Norscan army is there's just so many regenerating units. And with this flank coming, you can see the Black Orcs are coming along. My Hammer of Witches has been shut down by these Greenskins. I really can't afford to keep my eye on this, on finishing off these units or something like that. So it's not looking good at all. You can see my handgunners are helping, but they're just going to flee. Like the Werekin's going to flee, the Trolls are going to flee, and they're just going to come right back, which is terrifying. But over here, I got to finish off this Werekin. I at least got to route him semi-permanently, or just not permanently at all, to get him away so I can set up a new battle line to kind of address what's happening over here. You can see Volkmar is chunking out that Orc War Boss, but he's just going to get inundated and killed, especially when that Ragnar Queen gets in there. It's a nice boat there going through the Huntsman. And then my handgunners, I saw that these were Black Orcs, so I turned my handgunners there. I knew I had to deal with these guys. I didn't really have too much armor piercing. I do know that I need to get rid of these Boarboy Biggins, so Plague of Rust being dropped, and then charge in the back with the Reichsguard, so dropping them to 16 armor so the Reichsguard can really just do what they need to do. Because I need to get these Orc Boarboy Biggins off, so that I can just cycle charge what's remaining of his infantry. And I really thought that was the only way I was going to win here. So I charged those guys over here. I'm using my Zentler's Reichsguard to just keep routing this stuff away while I kind of try and deal with this stuff. You can see that I still have this broken test mob though. So I'm bringing my Amber Wizard down in there with Balthazar ready to hop in if need be. And then I just needed a distraction for these Black Orcs. I needed them to not keep coming here so that my handgunners would have more time to fire. So they're, you know, kind of sacrificing my Amber Wizard for this trade. But I'm going to bring some Tattersouls in. I'm going to, because these guys do kind of have armor piercing, mostly armor piercing damage. Some pikemen as well. But I'm not going to be able to commit Balthazar because I think he'll die. Then over here you can see my Imperial Foot helping to just keep running these things off. Imperial Foot over here just tanking Wolfric. And then over here, I do sloppy mistake. I did not pick these guys up. I didn't pick these guys up either, and they're going to get squigged. So nice exploiting from the Greenskin player. Nice job, like seeing what I was missing, and then, you know, because just maybe one volley from those guys as they charged would have dealt with the Squig Hoppers, but since I was inattentive, he got that free charge. So over here, you can see those Black Orcs do rout from the Terror, but now the Queen is coming. But I luckily have these handgunners. They are going to open fire on her, start doing some decent damage as I try and finish off this broken test mob. You can see Wolfric trying to dodge around to get to my handgunners. My Imperial Foot is just chasing him, and there's really nothing I can do to stop him from disrupting my handgunners at this point. I do get a couple of nice volleys there. You can see the Queen is coming around. I do drop a very nice Gehenna's Golden Hounds on these guys as they approach. They're doing nice damage. And then I just am running over the remains of troops here with my Reichsguard. So I'm going to be running in here, and then hopefully a rear charge to break this stuff. But you can see, since I'm bringing in more Imperial Foot to just kind of blob this stuff down, keeping my Amber Wizard in reserve, here come those Zentler's Reichsguard for that rear charge. Because I saw all this stuff was very low, so maybe just one rear charge would be able to break them. The only thing kind of holding them is stand your ground currently. But once that wears off, they should rout. See my Amber Wizard dropping in here to help. And then you can see a lot of this stuff is routing. I'm bringing my Reichsguard for a secondary charge just so my Zentlers don't get crushed from behind. My Imperial Foot are finally routing. But I have another one in there who will help to kind of cut through this stuff. But oh my god, you can see the Trolls are back. Javelins are back. Oh man, the Queen is routing thankfully, but he still has this unit of Boarboy Biggins. And he's got a lot of infantry over here, and you can see he's still got some nasty skulkers and some forest goblins the Forest Goblins do have lethal poison, so they can really deal with almost anything, or at least help. And they do have an anti-large as well. But you can see here, got a nice route on this Ragnarok Queen, which was a blessing. You can see my Zenler's Reich's Guard down to 55 models, but still pretty decently in shape. You can see I'm going to get a nice cheeky charge on these guys, sandwich them with the Imperial Foot. So just trying to isolate the most important units. But again here, my handgunner is just like constantly running for their lives. Like running through my own line, like running back, back around, and yeah, I think it's just over here. You can see my Amber Wizard is trying to chase that Ragnarok Queen off, make sure it stays gone, while my Zentlers and Battlestar just kind of finish up the rest of the stuff. You can see they're chasing the Orc War Boss here currently.
Take the ground!
You can see a lot of the stuff is routing. He's got a lot of these Forest Goblins left though. And then something I didn't notice was this Ragnarok Queen didn't keep running away, so it's going to turn around and just lay a smacking on my Amber Wizard. See my handgun is routing, and you can see luckily these trolls have 4 leadership. The Orc forwards are starting to rout. You can see Bounce of Power is still pretty dead even. But my Imperial Foot are just so, once they get to a certain amount of hit points, they are unbreakable, which is very nice here in this late game. So you can see a lot of this stuff is routing. Balthazar Gelt does finish off that Orc War Boss. And now he's up and going. I think I'm almost out of magic at this point. Yeah, you can see the Amber Wizard just put down. My handgunners are free again, and now they're opening fire on that Ragnarok Queen, so really just keeping it for the late game. And you can see here, I do charge into these Forest Goblins, and just send them flying. Oh my god. So yeah, this was a really fun battle. You can see now at this point, there's really no answer to my Zentlers. So they're just kind of running around. You can see these Reichsguard doing the same thing. Imperial Foot still trying to deal with the Wolfbreak because he just like runs around, constantly disrupting my firing line. I just don't have the resources to ever deal with it. So I just kind of avoided him and put him down. There you can see Plague of Rust coming down, my final one to kind of help them. And he did rout off the field. So very Pyrrhic victory there from the Empire, from Balthazar Gelt. And you can see Balthazar racking up a decent amount of kills, 141. You can see my Imperial Foot doing very well. The Tattersouls doing okay, just really trading with that Marauder unit. My Free Company not doing very well, but my Handgunners got 2 XP chevrons, so they definitely did work. They helped take out a lot of those large targets, and I managed to just protect them somehow. My Hammer of Witches probably not paying for itself. But you can see here my Zentlers, almost 400 kills. Starting with running down those Berserkers, running into the back of the Javelins, routing all those large targets. MVPs of that game. And you can see just the regular Reichsguard as well got 200 kills and an XP chevron. So both these guys wrecking house, just slaughtering. Thank God I decided to bring Reichsguard. Oh man. Over here, yeah, you can see the Knights of the Blazing Sun did pretty well as well. Sunmaker got shut down. Volkmar, of course, always with 200 plus kills. Imperial Foot, looks like he did a nice job of isolating them and just shutting them down pretty quick. Darth Patricus here, you can see. Yeah, some of his Marauders did very well. This Berserker just got run down by the Reichsguard. I managed to isolate that Marauder with some magic. And then, yeah, you can see these guys, the Femir Stalkers being MVPs, taking out most of this Imperial Foot. But, of course, the Imperial Foot is such a small model that it's hard to like rack up a ton of kills there. So all these kills are actually on very important units for these large targets. The Maw Herd just got isolated by those pikemen, which I was very lucky to grab that engagement. Because if those Maw Herd had kind of gotten on my Reichsguard and taken out a few models, who knows how the rest of that battle would have gone without these guys being able to rack up all those kills, being able to get into the late game with a ton of health. Rivet here, you can see just like crushing his way through. Quazzle here, you can see his Boar Bobiggin's doing super well. Squig Hopper's doing really well. Ragnarok Queen, Nasty Skulkers with 155. Yeah, just I like this army. Very fast, very aggressive, very tanky though with all the orc units. Yeah, and anyways, thanks so much guys for watching, and that's that.